Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, February 13th, 2024 business meeting of the Wall Township Board of Education. Please rise and join me in the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'm going to ask our Board Secretary, Mr. Smythe, to please read the sunshine announcement and perform roll call.
This is the Wall Township Board of Education meeting for which adequate notice under the Open Public Meeting Act was provided by a notice to the CoStar, Asbury Park Press, notice to the Township Clerk's Office, all Wall Township Public Schools, and a posting in the Board Administration Office on January 4th, 2024. I'll take a roll call. Mr. Addonizio? Ms. Barbiere?
Here.
Mr. Buffa?
Here.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Maliff?
Here.
Mr. Nasser? Ms. Shimko?
Here.
Mr. Wondrak?
Here.
Ms. Stites?
Thank you. Oh, here, and thank you. At this time, may I please have a motion to go into executive session to the items that are listed on the agenda?
I'll
Mr.
second.
Maliff, Ms. DiGiovanni, all in favor? Great. At this time, we're going to be recessing to executive session, and we plan to return to this area at 7:30. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I would like to reconvene the business meeting of the Wall Township Board of Education for Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. At this time, please join me in welcoming the Wall High School NNDCC Color Guard for our flag salute.
Mark! Right wheel! Mark! Color guard! Halt! Freeze it! And salute. Colors! Ready, two. Gary. Colors. Cut. Right wheel. March. Forward. March. Color guard. Halt. Order. Arms. Cut. Color guard. Dismiss. Aye, cadet.
Thank you to our NNDCC cadets. They always do a fantastic job for us. At this time, I'm going to ask our board secretary to please perform a roll call.
Take a roll call. Mr. Anizio? Here. Ms. Barbier?
Here.
Mr. Buffa?
Here.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Malif?
Here.
Mr. Nasser? Ms. Shimko?
Here.
Mr. Wondrak?
Here.
Madison Brody?
Here.
Christopher Daly?
Here.
Megan Cappy?
Here.
Michael Southwell?
Here.
Ms. Stites?
Here. Thank you. This time, I'll be turning the floor over to Dr. Handerham. We've got some student recognition this evening that we're excited about.
We sure do, Ms. Stites, and they are coming into the auditorium as I speak right now. You'll notice that we have an amazing amount of students that are here this evening, and it's incredibly special. We're here to recognize them for all of their accomplishments for the fall season. And here tonight we have members of the Wall Intermediate School. We have members of Wall High School, and we're formally recognizing them and their coaches on really just some amazing championships. And, as you can tell by the numbers of student athletes that we have with us, it was an incredibly successful fall season. They have set a standard that is so high, and I congratulate all of them. As they're settling in, I would like to introduce, I know to some she doesn't need an introduction, but our Director of Athletics, Ms. Marnie Henry. Oh! That was artfully done, Ms. Henry. You did just that, Ms. Henry. So it's my honor and privilege to introduce our Director of Athletics. If you've spent any time in any of our secondary schools, if you ran into her, you would remember her because her enthusiasm for our athletics program and just our students in general, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that is in contention. So with that, Ms. Henry, I am going to invite Ms. Stites to join me, and I'm going to turn the program over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Board of Education, parents,
student athletes, everyone that's here this evening. I get to be here to share some really exciting news. There are so many incredible things that are going on every day in our district, but this fall season, we had some really spectacular athletic performances. So I just want to, recognize all the student athletes that are here today. First of all, thank you, parents, for the hours that you drive to practice, you put into your kids, and it makes a difference, and this is why we have such a large amount of kids represented here tonight with all of these championships. So the first team we would like to honor this evening, if we can have our middle school, our intermediate school field hockey team with head coach Lauren Riley and Lori Malith. Please come on down. Ladies, we're just going to have you come right on down. The intermediate school, they won the Shore Conference League and Conference Championships for field hockey this year, and I'm going to have the coaches read out the girls' names, and we're going to give them a certificate to honor them for their spectacular performance. So, you have.
I don't know if they're going to be able to hear. Thank you. Okay, girls, as I say your name, please come on up. Ava Balistrieri. Avery Bartocci. Do I still say her name?
Do we say the absent
Should I say the
ones?
absent ones? No, okay. Caitlin Coman. Delaney Daniel. Isabella DeFeo. Liliana DeFeo. Grace Hendrickson. Phoebe Howard. Kaylin Hughes. Liv Iglesias. Soleil Ignatowicz. Brinley Jaros. Kristen Jolly. Annabelle Langeveld. Madeline Manzo. Olivia Manzo. Sadie Nash. Liv Perry. Emily Richards. Madeline Seuss. Charlotte Switzer. Bridget Webster. Oh, I checked off. Tallulah Walker. Brielle Wright. And Gianna Zanetti.
I'm thinking squish.
Yeah, can you squish down here? Yeah, I can fit them all, actually. Are you ready?
We have one young lady, I don't know how, but can we give a big round of applause for Quinn Carmody?
Okay, you ready?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Okay. All right, good.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations, ladies. And these ladies obviously worked hard. I can't wait to see you guys in a few years. Some of you next year, some of you in the next couple of years, and hopefully we'll have some nice turf for you guys to play on when we get up here. Ooh, very exciting. Our next group of incredible athletic accomplishments, we're going to be recognizing our 6th and 7th grade Wall Intermediate School girls soccer team who took home the Monmouth County Intermediate School Patriot Division Championship this past fall. Congratulations, ladies. And if I can have Coach Mark Kelly, please come on up. All right, Coach, they're all yours.
Thank you. I'd just like to say I had a wonderful group of kids this year, totally unselfish, dedicated. They got along great. Just a wonderful group of kids that I look forward to growing up and becoming high school players at some point. With that being said, I'll start calling our players. Ashley Agnes. On that note, too, we have a handful of girls missing, illness, and I believe some winter trainings tonight always contribute. Jada Benyola. Emily Brett. Gemma Brett. Addison Brown. Leah DeBruin. Ava DeSarno. Nora Farrell. Gia Forsalati. Finley Frood. Charlotte Lynch. Kate Marshak. Sarah Marshak. Megan McBaron. Madeline O'Halloran. Camilla Reyes. Molly Stoddart. Adriana Virgilio. And Grace Wood.
You ready? Okay, good.
Congratulations again, ladies. I'm starting to notice a trend here. We just had the 6th and 7th grade girls soccer, and next we are going to be honoring our 8th grade girls soccer team. This year, the 8th grade girls soccer team, they were the Monmouth County Intermediate School National B Division champs. So congratulations, ladies. And we're going to have head coach Neil Cimino go over his ladies.
Thank you. Layla Abagabo. Angelica Arcila. Macy Clawberg. Maggie Daly. Mackenzie Devlin. Callie Ehrlich. Tessa Forsalati. Molly Gately. Emily Gibson. Jenna Goditis. Angelica Kishi. Taylor Knight. Delaney Mitchell. Sadie Sutton. Jamie Texter. Alexis Waitzel.
You ready? Yeah, good. Congratulations.
As the ladies are making their way back, again, I wanted to give a huge shout out to the intermediate school. To have 3 teams that won championships in Monmouth County is amazing. So I'm so excited to welcome you guys in the next few years over to the high school, be part of the Crimson Knights, and have you playing on the big fields, big courts, and we're excited. Congratulations again. All right, now we're getting into some serious hardware here for the high school as we recognize our boys cross-country team as their Shore Conference A Division Championship, and head coach Mike Nastasi to go over the championships, and then we have some individual awards as well.
You said to skip those two? Okay.
Alex Langeveld. John Lemanowitz. Ryan Lovas. Stephen Masteritis. Oliver Langenveld. And Matthew Remishofsky.
In addition to honoring these gentlemen for their divisional championship, we have the last two gentlemen that we called up here this evening. First, Oliver. He had a ton of individual accomplishments as well. He was the Central Jersey Group 2 champion, individual second place finish, Monmouth County Championships fifth place individual finish, Shore Conference A Central Division Championship third place individual finish. Oliver, take a step up. Amazing job. So, these boys have, honestly, this team has put Wall Cross Country on the map. They started a legacy. Excellent job. And that leads me to our captain, the man himself, Mr. Matt Remshofsky. He just was amazing and is continuing to be amazing through the winter season. He has created, when I said this legacy, this man right here we're going to be talking about for years to come. He's been an incredible, incredible ambassador for his sport. He was the Shore Conference A Central individual champion. So first place in all the Shore Conference. The Central Jersey Group 2 individual champion of every kid in the state, Group 2. All New Jersey Group 2 second place finish. And first team All Monmouth County Short Track Coaches Association. So Matt has done well. And Matt and Oliver and a lot of the other gentlemen you see before you are currently competing in winter track, so I'm sure we're going to have them back at a board meeting in the future to discuss all the amazing school records and accomplishments they have been compiling in the past few months. So congratulations again to our cross-country team.
All right, you ready? Good.
All right. We are now getting to one of my favorite times in this presentation. The last team that we're honoring tonight is the team that has compiled the most hardware, went the furthest in the season this year as a team. Our girls high school soccer team as the Central Jersey Group 2 sectional champions. And they also made it through the next round to compete for the overall Group 2 title. This is a defending championship, so this is back-to-back championships. And I wanted to give a special shout out to our new head coach, Miss Annie, and I've been saying her name wrong for the past year, and she just told me about a week ago. So it's Manafra, Coach Annie Manafra, and I would like to invite her up as well as Kyra LaFerlita to talk a little bit about the girls and then give them their certs. Come on up.
Thank you. So as Mrs. Henry has said, this is my first year as the head coach, although being part of the program for 6 years, but I couldn't ask for a better group of girls to start my head coaching career. They hold a special place in my heart. I mean, everything I asked for, they did 110%. Everything that they did this season, they deserved to the fullest. I mean, it's how awesome Wall Girl Soccer, right? Every team that we have here, you know, in Wall, as a soccer team is here for the girls. So just super proud of them. Great role models for you guys, and obviously my future is looking pretty bright. So first up, we have our captain, Aileen Carr. Another captain, Erin Farrell. Megan Farrell. Brooke Halby. Kelsey Halleck. Another captain, Ellie Hartz. Alexa Kerr. Hannah Lee. Alyssa Parsipacy. Bridget Patillo. Jessica Patillo. Captain Aaron Ritchie. And Taylor Suki.
You ready?
And again, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and recognize these incredible athletic accomplishments. But what is even more exciting for me as the athletic director is the incredible type of students that we have. You know, you hear things every day, but walking in these halls and meeting these kids, we have incredible, incredible student athletes that are doing things the right way. They're competitors, but they do so in the right vein with sportsmanship, and they're all there for each other. So there's nothing better. It's a great day to be a Knight, and let's keep it going. Congratulations, everyone.
All right. Many congratulations to all of those student athletes from the Board of Education, and certainly congratulations to their families who put so much time into making sure kids get to their training and their practices. We know what that kind of a commitment looks like, and we appreciate it. At this time, I'm going to be turning the floor over to Dr. Handerhan for an introduction for a lovely video that we have from the primary school.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stites. It's my pleasure to introduce to you this evening Ms. Erin Enbon, principal of Wall Primary School. And, I think she has worked on something very special for you this evening to help, brighten up our winter.
Oh, it's magic. Good evening, Dr. Handerhan, Ms. McCann, President Stites, Vice President Maliff, and members of the Board of Education. On behalf of Wall Primary School, I would like to say thank you for allowing us time tonight to share a little bit of cheer from our little school. Wall Primary School is an amazing place. We're located on Bedford's Corner Road, right next to the airplane park that no longer has an airplane, but it used to. We have 21 amazing faculty and staff members who are beyond dedicated. Their patience, kindness, and competence create wonderful experiences for our students and as first-time Wall students. Tonight, we're going to show you a short video highlighting some of our winter fun to help you chase away your winter blues. Thank you to Jamie, Jen, sorry, Jamie's her sister, to Jen Serbowitz, who really did all of the work on the video. So I think she escaped, but she really, amazing. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Hello, hello. Can you clap your hands? Can you stretch up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around?
Hello, friends. This is Wall Primary School. We're making winter super happy. We met Leo the penguin. Stay warm and keep smiling. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mrs. Emban. You guys do beautiful work at the primary school. We're proud of all those students and the staff that's there. Thanks for sharing that because it really shows everybody, you know, the beginning of why we're all here. Really important. So thank you very much for that. Okay, at this time, I'm going to be opening the floor for public comment. I am going to mention that things are a little bit different this evening. Mr. Maliff is going to be manning our timer for us, and the time is going to be started once you approach the podium and we get you there. I will ask folks to remember to please be courteous, and we'll have you start. Thank you.
Are we ready to go? So my name is Brian Messenlaner. I have 5 kids in the district here. 3 of them are in Central School. So did everybody have a good time at the Super Bowl? Right? Everybody went to some Super Bowl parties and stuff. So I was hanging out at a Super Bowl party, and I heard some stuff that was really crazy to hear. I live in Wall Township, as I said, and I got kids that go to Central School. So when I heard this stuff about Central School, I was like, what is going on? But basically, so about me, obviously I'm from Wall. I got 5 kids here. I started my career in software development and data analysis, fraud detection in the United States Marine Corps. So if you guys pay taxes, thank you for my education. So I got out of the Marines and I started working at a law firm. We specialize in insurance fraud litigation, our biggest client being Allstate at the time. And they would let me into all their data, and I would look around at all their documents and paperwork, and really it's all the same thing over and over again. Insurance fraud, any type of fraud, it's usually a game of analytics. Look at the data, analyze the data, run the numbers, follow the money, right? That's where it is. Which one of you guys is Brian Smith? Brian Smith, is he here? Smite? Brian Smite? Is that you?
Sir, if you would direct your comments to me as the president of the board.
President of the board.
Yes,
Which
thank
one
you.
of these guys is Brian Smite?
Sir, this is a public comment portion.
That's why I'm here.
It's not a back and forth.
Okay, I'm just trying to address who I'm talking to. Him and Ralphie, it seems, have been doing some shady things with our money as taxpayers and stuff for the schools. And not only shady things that could possibly be theft, stealing money from us, right? And from the kids, but I wouldn't be dragged out here if they were just some like common schmuckatelli scumbag criminals, supposedly. There's kids that got hurt, that got ill, supposedly from being at these trailers at the Central School. Oh, somebody just said, oh God. Who was it? Was it over here? I think it was you. Oh God. So you guys know what I'm talking about then, right? So supposedly, there was like a purchase order, a PO from the school for like $330,000 that went to purchasing 4 trailers that were about 15, there was 4 of them, there were $15,000 each. So I guess that was a deal to get the trailers, right? $15,000 for the trailer, a few $1,000s for the plumbing, a few $1,000s for electric, but $200,000 for transporting these trailers? They're trailers. Don't they go on the back of tractor trailers and drive down the road to get here? How in the world could it cost $200,000 to get these trailers from, where were they from? I have some more stuff I want to say, and then I'll ask some more questions. But that's going to be one of the questions. Where do the trailers come from?
Sir, I appreciate your time. Is that?
Sure. It's up?
Yes, sir.
How much time did I get?
It's 3 minutes, sir.
So my 3 minutes is up. All right. Well, in closing, I just want to say you guys potentially hurt some kids, and you weren't just stealing money from the people, but you potentially hurt some kids, and then you guys got a subpoena. Okay, you guys got a subpoena to not do anything to show records.
Than't you, sir.
And then what happened?
Do we have anyone else for? Do we have anyone else for public comment at this time? Thank you, sir. Do we have? Do we have anyone else for public comment at this time? Sir, at the top, excuse me just a moment, sir. Sir, at the top, are you public comments? Okay, sorry, okay. Hi.
Good evening.
Whoop.
Can you hear me?
Thank you.
My name's Mike Tramberg, a lifetime Wall resident,
and I would like to just make a comment on last month's school board meeting. I spoke on behalf of project labor agreements. After the school board meeting last month, I was contacted by the Wall Board of Ed to have a meeting regarding project labor agreements. And that meeting included Dr. Handahan, Brian Smythe, Adam Nisar. And I could tell you, I do this quite a bit, and I gave out paperwork for you guys to read, and all three of you did a great job reading what I had brought to the board here. So a job well done on that. But me, I'm a business rep for the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, and my job is basically to put these men and women that are behind me, get them a job. And also, being a Wall Township resident, I want the job done pretty cheap also. But during our meeting, it was over an hour, probably almost an hour and a half, but I brought a letter from the director from the Monmouth County Commissioners. And in that letter, he stated why the county always uses a project labor agreement on any work that's over the $5 million threshold. It saves the county money, and it puts local people to work. And that's what I'm here for. I want to save us some money here and put my guys and girls to work. At the meeting, I also mentioned that there was a contractor that I was afraid that was going to get this project. I mentioned him by name, and that contractor ended up being the low bid contractor. That contractor is the same contractor that I mentioned had problems over at Manasquan. I don't know if you guys looked into the problems that went on at Manasquan, but this low bid contractor sure as heck was awarded to 2 schools in our area. I turned into Brian last week. They had over 15 violations with the Department of Labor for basically not paying the prevailing wage. And now they're in litigation with Manasquan. This is a really bad contractor here. Normally, I don't have any problems with getting work in Wall Township. The men and women behind me have always done the work here, but now you have a bad contractor. And all I'm here today is to ask the board that if you're looking to award this contract, shoot it down. You don't want this contractor doing work, and I believe you guys are going to be voting on it today. If you're voting on this today or whenever this vote's coming on, please vote this down and let's put it out to rebid with a PLA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Chuck McFadden, Iron Workers, Local 11, Business Agent and Financial Secretary. I've been living here for 25 years. My kids participated in all sports. I got to commend you, the school system on what the sports do and how they bring people together. You know, the unions do the same thing. We're only looking to make a good wage, prevailing wage. Manasquan had major problems over there on our athletics facility. It's still leaking. They have problems over there today because of shoddy work. The reason you have shoddy work is because you have shoddy journeymen. I wouldn't even call them journeymen. My men behind me, all those guys up there in their colors up there, they've been trained just like all of our high school students, right, and our grammar school students. We work to give them a good education. That's what we union people do. We have journeyman programs, apprenticeship programs to train people. We have drug resistance and employee assistance throughout our unions, you know? So we really need Wall Township to look at what are you buying, because that's what it comes down to. You're spending our money. I live here. My kids aren't even in school anymore. They graduate. They're very successful thanks to you all and, you know, the work that you do. But you have to, there's more to a job than just the cost. It's the training of the men, you know? It's the training that you guys, ladies and gentlemen, try to facilitate here from the high school. You know, everybody wants to go to college, but everybody's not going to college. You know, somebody's got to be like me, just a dummy putting bolts in or running the finances of a union, you know? And those are the people you're going to support. You're going to support our members. And you're going to support your own community because you'll get a better building. These buildings weren't built by non-union people. You want good people, you got to pay for them, you know? And we're only asking for the prevailing wage and for your participation in a project labor agreement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Betsy Cross, I live in Wall Township. I'm going to agree with everything these gentlemen are saying. We can't keep doing all the shoddy work we're doing. We can't be pretending that we've inspected things. We can't pretend that electrical inspections were done and plumbing inspections were done when they weren't, because there's no proof. Nothing was ever done on the trailers. So it's taken 4.5 years to now finally get documents back from Brian Smythe in January, because he cherry-picked what he gave to the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, that show he got a verbal CO, temporary CO, from Wall Township at 8:30 in the morning on September 10th, as children are walking into Central Elementary School at 9:05. That's unbelievable, because I've checked around and nobody has ever heard of giving a temporary verbal CO over the phone. My husband and I and Kathleen Duran met with Jeff Bertrand. We asked to meet with Mr. Quigley, who supposedly did the plumbing inspections. They would not bring him upstairs. And I'm going to guess if he did those plumbing inspections like one of these guys, they would have met with me. But when you're not meeting and you're not answering questions, I'm going to guess pretty much everything I've said all along has proven to be true. Those plumbing inspections were never done. It might have been a drive-by. There are the trailers. Sign the piece of paper. Brian Smythe was the last person to work on those trailers with 7 maintenance people from Wall. He worked on them the 7th, 8th, and the 9th. Mr. Habel thanked him for all the work he did. And then it's either November 6th or November 11th, we get the final CO. Bullshit. Look at these pictures. We've had union people look at them, plumbing inspectors, architects. Nobody looked and inspected those trailers and gave that. Because if they did, they should be fired, and if they didn't do it, they should be fired. So we'll get to the truth via subpoenas. You keep ringing up the bills. And why are you paying my attorney now $10,000 to the JIF for the case you just lost, hiding my own Facebook posts regarding the trailers? Why isn't Athena Cornell paying them? Is it because maybe Athena Cornell didn't tell Brian to do that and Brian did it on his own? If that's the case, he should pay it out of his own pocket. We're getting sick and tired of him losing lawsuits, and we have to pay. So nobody should be paying that $10,000. I see it. I've posted it all over Facebook. I've sent it to the Attorney General. I've sent it to the Comptroller's office. They keep saying, keep sending the information. So I keep sending it. They get stuff every day, and so does the DCA. So until we get to the truth, this guy should have gone to jail. He should have went to jail a decade ago. It was criminal negligence with those trailers, shoving kids in those trailers when they were unsafe, never inspected, and never inspected by an electrical or plumbing inspector.
Thank you, Mrs.
Because
Cross.
you cannot prove it. So,
Thank you, Mrs. Cross. Your time is up.
right. So where did the
Do I have
trailers come
anyone
from,
else?
given transportation?
Do I have anyone else for public comment at this time? Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment.
I got one.
Oh.
Can I go again?
No, sir.
No, we only get 30 minutes and that's it?
Yes, sir, there's a second public comment on action items toward the end of the meeting.
Okay, so in a couple minutes I can talk again.
If it's about something that's on the agenda, yes. Okay, so at this time, I'm closing the floor for public comment. This time, I'm going to be turning the floor over to our student representatives, Madison Brody, Megan Cappy, Christopher Daly, and Michael Southwell. Thank you guys for coming out. We missed you last week, or last month rather, but we're looking forward to the update. So the floor is yours.
Since the last meeting, there has been a lot to happen at Wall High School. We successfully or not successfully completed midterms exams and are on to semester 2. This semester marks a fresh start for many students. Within school, Mr. Camano's Lost Literature class conducted a banned children books research project that is proudly displayed in the Media Center currently. The Wall TV program made videos for all the electives to present to the 8th graders.
Within the clubs at the school, there's a lot going on. Student Advisory are currently planning the 2nd annual talent show. Last year, the show raised hundreds of dollars for each grade. Heroes and Cool Kids are about to make another trip to their elementary schools, in addition to Read Across America, where several clubs will join forces to read to the kids.
Lastly, the Athletic Leadership Club will be hosting a fall sports, how do you pronounce that? ESPYs on the 15th during first block in the cafeteria, which will be a great event many are looking forward to. The Dames Ball is taking place very shortly, with sign-ups having just taken place. The sophomores are ready to dance the night away and hopefully dance better than Usher during the Super Bowl halftime show. Chris came up with that, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Lastly, I know they're not here anymore. They didn't want to support us, but the winter sports are wrapping up, and shout out to a lot of my friends who just got talked about. So firstly, with the hockey team, junior Mikey Horley just hit 100 career points, which is a huge achievement in any sport, let alone hockey. Similarly, seniors Emily Tverdick and Shane Eldridge both hit 1,000 points in the same week for girls basketball. And finally, senior Matt Ramashowski, he's not here. He just set the 800-meter record in indoor track. That was an accomplishment he was working a while for. And also, Oliver Langeveld just won the Central Jersey Group 2 3,200 meters, which is 16 laps in indoor track. It's a big accomplishment and something that hasn't been done at Wall in a while. And lastly, freshman Carly Mazur, who is a freshman, just broke the 400-meter record at Wall High School. So big accomplishments for the track team. And the bowling team and chess team also have state titles coming up. I know they're not talked about a lot, but a lot of good stuff going on. And that's all we had, but we thank you for your time. And I also have to say, I don't know if Ms. Embon's here, the primary school video. I'm a proud primary school graduate, so it's good to reminisce on the glory days.
Okay, guys, we look forward to the talent show. We definitely want information about that when that comes. I know it was a huge hit last year. I hope everybody has fun at Dames. And yeah, it's new start, new spring semester, lots of exciting stuff happening. And I know for our senior class, lots of big decisions coming down the pike. So we wish you all well with that. In the meantime, you may certainly feel free to go do whatever it is you need to get done tonight. Please be careful driving. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, this time I'm going to turn the floor over to Dr. Handerhan to introduce the special presentation.
Good evening. We have two special presentations this evening. The first is the Board of Education audit 2022-2023 audit, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Matt Holman for coming out this evening to provide us some insight into that audit. So, Mr. Holman, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Yes, so we conducted the 2022-2023 audit for the district this year. My name is Matt Holman. I was a partner on the engagement. Everybody should have a copy, hopefully, in front of them. I just wanted to bring up a couple of the more important pieces in the audit, just go over those real quickly with you. First thing I wanted to point out, you'll see on page 11, the district was once again awarded the Certificate of Excellence for financial reporting. And this is a nice honor for the school board to receive again. I believe this is the second year in a row that the district has received this. If you look at page 11, you'll see the prior audit, the 2021-2022 audit had been sent down to Georgia. And what they do is they review the entire audit to make sure it's in full compliance with all of the accounting regulations that it needs to be in compliance with. And as long as that compliance is seen by the independent reviewers there, they award the district this certificate. So congratulations on that part. Next thing I wanted to point out, the independent auditor's report. This report comes from us, Holman, Friendly, Allison, and this is our main report on the school district. This is where we're attesting that the numbers that are presented in the financial statements are materially correct. And I'm happy to say that this is an unmodified opinion. You can see this on page 15 through page 17. And here, the financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects. And we call it an unmodified opinion because there's no necessary modifications that are required. So if we did have any issues or we did find any material problems in the school district financials, we would then have a modified opinion here. So again, congratulations on receiving a modified opinion. It is the best opinion that can be rendered for a school district. All right, just continuing on. If you look at page 105, I just wanted to point out, this is a particularly important schedule. On the bottom of 105, you will see your fund balances that are presented as of June 30th, 2023. And in total, the district has a fund balance of $12.2 million. Of that $12.2 million that's being retained by the district, your capital reserve as of 6/30/23 is $5.5 million. The maintenance reserve that's set aside is $1.7 million. You have an emergency reserve set aside of $381,000. There's a reserve for unemployment claims of $285,000. And then you have monies that are set aside for the 23-24 budget that is utilized. It's utilizing the district funds to balance that 23-24 budget. There's two items there, $292,000 for year-end encumbrances and $1.6 million, which is designated for the subsequent year's expenditures, which goes into the 23-24 budget. That leaves you with unassigned fund balance for the year of $2.4 million. And just an important schedule there, that C1 exhibit shows your budget to actual throughout the entire year. All right, moving on to, we have two further opinions that we have to give for the district. They begin on page 189. This is the independent auditor's report on compliance and reporting over internal control. So while we conduct audits, a financial statement audit of the district, we also are looking at the internal controls of the district. And in this case, once again, I'm happy to say that there's an unmodified opinion here. We did not have to modify this opinion for any reason. As part of our audit, we also conduct audits, single audits of the school district on the state programs and federal programs. So in conducting those state and federal audits, those are for when your total amount of federal money that's received is over $750,000, that's where the federal single audit kicks in. When you have over $750,000 spent in state money, another single audit kicks in for the state side. So this year we did a single audit on your education stabilization funds, and on the state side we did the state aid public, which consists of your equalization aid, your special education aid, and your security aid. Now, I do have to report when we did the compliance testing there, which is quite substantial. We test about 60 different compliance items that are there. The district had one deficiency that was noted during our testing this year. You can see that presented as a comment, and it had to do with the NJSA 18A 22-8.1, which requires executive county superintendent approval for any line item transfers from the general fund line items that exceed 10%. So it's worthy of noting that the district has already created a corrective action plan for this, and it'll be put in play for the upcoming year to correct that going forward. But that is an item that we did have to note in our report this year. The third and final opinion is on those single audits, and that begins on page 189. And in that single audit report, we, again, have unmodified opinions for both your state single audit and your federal single audit. Those are the three opinions that we give in this report. Certainly take time and review it. If there's any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out at any point in time. Other than that, we thank the business office for all their cooperation. We do put the district through a lot of testing, and to only have one item that has been noted as a compliance issue at this point in time is an accomplishment for the district, and this is a good audit overall. Any questions for me?
This time, do we have any board members who have any questions for Mr. Holman before he is gone? I know this was also presented in our F&F, to our F&F committee last week.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank that committee. It was a much more extensive presentation, a little more time to kind of go over everything. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Do we have any board questions? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Have a great night.
When you do a presentation, then you have to have public comment after.
At this time,
Yeah, when you
at
do a
this time-
presentation, you just did a separate presentation.
thank you, Mrs. Cross. There is not a
When you
public
do-
comment at this time.
When you do a
Thank you, Mrs.
presentation,
Cross.
then you have to have,
At this time, Dr. Handerhan, will you please introduce the second presentation?
With pleasure, Ms. Stites. Before I introduce our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Jennifer McCann, I would like to invite the Board of Education to the seats out front because Ms. McCann has a great deal of information to share. Ms. McCann this evening is giving the mid-year presentation on our district goals. The Board of Education works with administration, faculty to develop develop district goals. In it, there's district objectives, and there are a tremendous amount of activities that that we work on throughout the school year to address and to meet the objectives that were set earlier in the school year. So without any further ado, I would like to ask the Board of Education to take a seat out front and introduce Ms. Jennifer McCann.
I feel weird standing with my back to you, so bear with me while I flip, hold, and have notes at the same time. But thank you all for coming this evening, and thank you for the opportunity to provide where we are at this point of the school year with our district goals. As Dr. Handerhan had mentioned, putting together our goals is a lengthy process between receiving input from all of our administrators, as well as working collaboratively with the board to really hone in on what our direction should be for the school year. So back in November, our board approved 5 goals for the district for this year. One of those goals was surrounded around academics, another one around student wellness, another around finance and facilities, student experiences, and communications. So our first goal is our academic goal, and I'm not going to bore you by reading it to you. But as Dr. Handerhan had mentioned, within each of the goals, we have objectives. And then from those objectives, we create action plans and action steps that we plan to execute and accomplish throughout the course of the year. So now that we are 5 months and 2 weeks into the year, it's about time to let you know where we are at. So within our academics, we have our instructional programs. And this year, we are very proud of the fact that we implemented a new K-2 reading program called the Magnetic Literacy Portfolio. And this particular program is providing our students with the opportunity to learn how to read through the strategies of the science of reading, which is really based off of making sure that they all receive their foundational reading skills. In addition to that, we made some revisions to our intervention programs by providing our students with what's called a WIN period in grades K to 5. That WIN period is what I need. That's what it stands for. And that period is built into the reading block. We also looked at our technology curriculum over the summer, and we have implemented some new strategies and curricular resources to make sure that we are cutting edge with technology, as well as our G&T. One of our highlights at the high school is the fact that we are putting together a dual enrollment program where we'll be able to offer possibly 26 courses at the high school that would qualify for dual enrollment credit for starting next September. Additionally, as you saw earlier this evening, our NNDCC program was a priority for us this school year to grow that program. And we have hired a new instructor, Colonel Jax, who is still present with us. Thank you, Colonel Jax. And he, in the short time of being with us from January, has almost doubled the number of cadets that we have in the program. We also have looked at new resources for our multilingual program, as well as examining the way in which we've been teaching our science classes at the high school and making it more meaningful in terms of our instructional practices and our philosophy of our assessments at the high school. Additionally, we worked on some best practices. From a curriculum and instruction standpoint, we always want to make sure that we're implementing and supporting our teachers with best practices. So these are some of the highlights that we had this year. We implemented a new evaluation model, which we've also introduced as an instructional model and provided all of our teachers with extensive training, and that continues throughout the course of the school year. The K-2 teachers received reading training. We've had a group of 31 teachers who are going through what's called a LETTERS program, which is a 2-year commitment that the district is paying for through grant funds that would provide them, with some more concrete and extensive studying into foundational reading. We've also had some opportunities where we've had some students who are twice exceptional, so in ensuring that we provide our teachers and administrators with the appropriate training to meet the needs of those students, and again, the high school science program. One of the other objectives within the academic goal was ensuring that we start to enhance our data analysis in the district. We've implemented some diagnostic as well as benchmark testing in all different grade levels. DIBELS was administered for all students in K-5, which is a reading assessment. We've continued with our practice with iReady in grades K-8, and at the high school this year, we started with benchmark assessments in mathematics with a program called Link It. In addition to that, we've started working with each of the administrators and staff members that they've identified to do some data meetings within their buildings on a regular basis to identify our strengths and challenges. For goal 2, which is centered around student wellness, Ms. Steiner and her department has working really hard in promoting and implementing the 7 Mindsets program. One of her objectives was to ensure that we had a comprehensive student wellness program that centered around the 7 mindsets and providing teachers and staff with planning and training sessions as to what that implementation would look like. Those sessions take place throughout the course of the school year. We've also set aside student instructional lessons and activities. Each month, the 7 Mindsets has a different focus. You've seen her here before if you've watched our board meetings and participated in them. She's presented a plethora of evidence on each of those mindsets. We started with We Are Connected, and then it was Attitude of Gratitude, and there's a number of others that are coming at the next board meeting as to what we've been working on. In addition to that, one of her goals was to ensure that we had community engagement. Ms. Steiner and a group of teachers and Kaylin Gilvari worked real hard over the summer to do a book club, as well as continuing to meet with PTO groups in each of the schools, as well as putting together and working with the WTEA and putting together some FAST grants and parent workshops centered around 7 Mindsets. One of her other objectives was to ensure that we continued with our postvention response system, which is in our district, our Lifelines trilogy. Centered around that is ensuring that all of our schools has a crisis management team, so all of our schools have been trained on what that looks like, as well as our new legislation where we had to implement some threat assessment teams separate and apart from crisis. And Ms. Steiner, again, has been a critical part in ensuring that all that training has taken place. Additionally, the Lifelines trilogy, we've offered some parent workshops and teacher workshops to ensure that those lessons and those responses continue. She also coordinated some systems of service, working with our administrators, our school staff, school counselors, and other support staff members, and continuing to provide professional trainings and meetings on anti-bullying, our HIPS intervention program, INRS, 504s, student wellness just in general, mental health, so forth and so on. We also worked around having student-centered programs to ensure that all of our Tier 1, 2, and 3 students are meeting their needs, and as well as, again, family and parent presentations to respond to trends and needs in academic, social, emotional, health-related topics. Our third goal is centered around inclusivity and providing students with more experiences. The special ed department, under the leadership of Kelly Bond, worked really hard in continuing to provide our students with unified sports. We've provided, in the fall, the students had a flag football team. They'll be moving forward and having their kickball team in the spring. We've also received a proposal, and which I believe we're moving forward with, for unified PE. And there are also other opportunities at the high school to bring our students together in a more inclusive manner. We've also worked hard in expanding our opportunities for family and community engagement. We've offered some parents' nights out sponsored by the special ed department. We had Polar Express and another one. I'm sorry, it totally slipped my mind, Miss Bond. We have a special education parents advisory group, as well as we offered all of our staff, administrative staff, culturally responsive leadership workshop at the beginning of the school year. Our fourth goal is set around our finance and facilities. And we had, our objective was the supervision of the referendum. In this particular section, we've provided a board meeting update at each monthly meeting. We've updated our website as we've had information provided or updated, readily available for where we were in different projects and different implementation stages. We had the completion of our summer projects, as well as a lot of bid awarding that has taken place since the referendum started. In terms of our facility needs, we continue to meet with our municipality to have conversations about just the different types of projects and expansions that are happening here in Wall Township and how it impacts the school system. Additionally, we've continued to research and evaluate potential locations for us to provide our district support services with different building structures. Our fifth goal and last goal is centered around communications. And our first objective was to ensure that we continue with the district-wide communication plan. And our way in which we do that is our website is really our hub for all of our information. Each of our departments, each of our schools really utilize the website to share out all of our information. Additionally, we also send out a lot of social media posts regarding many of the activities that are taking place within the district. We strive for a positive and collaborative relationship within our communications. Dr. Handerhan sends out a number of communications. Our principals are required to send out a s'mores twice a month, which is their school newsletters. We have internal newsletters that come from the curriculum and instruction department that are shared out in K-5, as well as wellness in the works from the wellness department. And we also continue to provide parent workshops, whether that be through the wellness department or the curriculum department. Our internal communications, we always strive to make that better and make sure that it's circular between all of our teachers, our administrators. So we've continued to implement some monthly administrative meetings. We also, again, as I mentioned, have started using some newsletters in order to communicate. And we also try to make some adjustments to our website, particularly the HR department tab, to ensure that our staff had access to all of the necessary forms and information that they needed at a readily basis. I just want to take an opportunity to tell you that a lot of what I just mentioned, and I know I went fast, but I don't want to belabor the meeting and cause it to go longer. But can you click on that for me? Thank you. Oh, never mind. There is a 14-page document that outlines all of the specifics with all of the details of everything that I just mentioned, plus more information on all of our accomplishments that we have made thus far for each of our goals and our objectives. And I have to give it to all of our teachers, our principals, our administrative staff at central office level. It is truly a team effort to ensure that we can do what we do and make all the accomplishments that we have made. It has been a whirlwind of a year, I would say, because we've had a lot of great things happen as a result of these goals, and it's only a taste of what's about to come for this district. So I'm very proud to mention all of those accomplishments, and I encourage you, once that document is available on the website for everybody to view it, to really see what everybody's been doing here. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Ms. McCann. And I will reiterate, you don't need to be a member of the school district in order to access our website. So I encourage people to take a look at the website. They'll be able to access both of the special presentations there for further review. At this time, I'm going to be going into my report, which may be a little bit lengthy this evening. I apologize. What I'd like to start with is recognizing our certificated students for January 2024. For grade 9, we have Mason Thorne. For grade 10, we have Christian Girardi. For grade 11, we have Cooper Breen. And for grade 12, we have Aiden Cannon. For our nights of the week of January 1st, we have senior Christopher Daly, our very own board rep. For the week of January 8th, we have 11th grader Mason Adam, another one of our board reps. For the week of January 15th, we have 10th grader Sophia Kepping. For the week of January 29th, we have freshman Quinn Butler. And then we have our students of the marking period 1. For grade 12 in art, we have Monica Kirschenbaum. For business, we have senior Alana Sabanjian. For consumer science, we have junior Mia Laterio. For English, we have junior Mackenzie Riley. For math, we have 11th grader Andrew Vario. For media TV, we have senior Sophie Quackenbush. For music, we have senior Jared McLaughlin. For PE and health, we have freshman Reese Shropshire. For social studies, we have junior Joseph D'Onofrio. And for technology education, we have senior Damian Clayton. Congratulations to those students and their families. Again, we make these recognitions each month. This is a testament not only to the students, but their friends and family who support them. So way to go for them. We're thrilled for them. In an effort to respond to topics and or concerns that have been raised at previous meetings, Mr. Maloff, the chair of policy, will be reviewing portions of policy related to the conduct of our meetings, and Mr. Buffa, a member of our F&F committee, will be commenting just in general on the topic of the project labor agreements during the board report. I'm going to take this opportunity right now to address several other topics. The first, I'd like to address the topic of board members accessing their laptops on the dais. Board members do use their laptops to follow agenda and access attachments with ease and without the need for referencing reams of paper copies. If members do choose to consult their laptops to gather information they require to review reports that they are going to be delivering, I fully support their ability to do so. I personally keep my reports electronically and use my laptop to deliver them. Regarding board member conduct during public comment, first let me say that this board does recognize the value of public comment, and we have worked through our policy committee to make public comment more accessible to stakeholders by placing it at the beginning of the meeting. As the president of the board, I do give speakers my attention during public comment and make every effort to be polite regardless of anything that is directed toward me. I do so because my role requires me to do so, but more importantly, I am obliged to act as a role model for the students in the district when I am seated in this role. Regarding an accusation of granting a speaker double the amount of allotted time at public comment last meeting, I'd like to clarify that the speaker in question concluded their comments in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. There was not a question of granting special favors. When the timer was not implemented, I followed the time on the clock above the exit doors. Moving forward, I've asked Mr. Maliff to operate our clock so that our board secretary can perform his duties without that additional responsibility. The Wall School District has over 3,000 students currently and over 700 staff members. This board is responsible for ensuring their safety, followed immediately by the pursuit of excellence in education for our students and the empowerment and advancement of the practice of our staff. Unfortunately, I don't really like to go down negative paths in our meetings, but I do have to address this. We've been finding that the board and the district administration and staff spend hours and hours distracted with never-ending barrages of emails, OPA requests, this constant onslaught of criticism regarding issues that we don't necessarily have viable avenues to address is an enormous distraction of time and attention from things that we could and should be doing for our students. It's getting to the point now, it's not really a question of how it affects the board members, it's how it's affecting our district and our students and our staff and what we are doing for our students who are in our classrooms. The amount of time and energy and resources that are spent not focused on advancing our students and also supporting our staff in their advancing our students is really becoming alarming. The Board of Education is not an arm of law enforcement, nor are we lawmakers. We are an elected, unpaid party of 9 community members who operate under applicable New Jersey laws and under regulations of the New Jersey State Board of Education. We do not run the day in and day out actions of the school district. These meetings are our business meetings where we meet as a party of 9 in public to conduct the business of the district. These meetings are the only time that the 9 of us convene together to meet, and this is the law. We vote to pass policy, pay our bills, hire teachers, staff, coaches, substitutes, approve building projects, approve booster clubs and groups, class trips, and whatever else is needed to allow the district to function. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with board policy, and our agendas are published as required. We do have policy in place which suggests appropriate behavior and assures that our meetings reflect the culture that we expect to see in the buildings across Wall Township. We do represent the people of Wall, the students of Wall, and the staff of Wall, and we are proud to do so. Our hope is that when stakeholders come together, they recognize the importance of these business meetings and act accordingly. Unfortunately, that is not always the case. Some of these meetings have rivaled reality television, minus table flipping, and that's sad because it diminishes all the outstanding accomplishments we see in our classrooms, on stages, and sports fields across the district. It tarnishes the good work that is being done by our students and our staff. Some of you may have recognized that we had a police officer in attendance this evening during our student awards this evening because a parent has expressed concern for the safety of their child due to contentious behavior adults at a previous board meeting. Let that sink in. What can we do about that? There have been community members who have expressed frustration with the board that we have not had people removed from these meetings. And let me just state that I, as the president of the board and the superintendent, have met with leadership at Wall Township Police. And I think it's important to remember that we are living in the United States of America. And people are encouraged to come to public meetings and are protected, and their speech is protected by First Amendments. I'm not looking to shut that down. What I'm asking is that when people come in, they speak at the appropriate times and on appropriate topics. We have no desire to need to have police called to our meetings. I think it's counterproductive, and I don't think it reflects what our children in this district deserve. At this point in time, I'm not going to belabor that anymore. We've also had certain topics brought up repeatedly, as is people's rights, and I have attempted, as the president of the board, to have communication with our Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office through our legal counsel. They have declined an invitation to, sit down or have further communication with me, but they did have communication with Ms. Cornell, and at this time, I'm going to ask you to just give a quick update for folks as far as how that went.
Sure. We have reached out on several occasions to discuss with the prosecutor's office some repeated allegations of wrongdoing. In doing so, the prosecutor's office has been very clear that they have investigated these allegations with regard to the trailers. Their investigation revealed no evidence of criminality, and that the results of that investigation was put in writing to several community members many years ago, approximately in November of 2020. They consider the matter closed. They consider the matter having no evidence of any criminality on the part of the board, and yet we continue to be faced with what appears to be, based on the results of this prosecutor's office, erroneous and disturbing continued and repeated allegations. So the prosecutor's office has been very clear to us. Once again, given the results of their investigation, they consider the matter closed.
Thank you. In conclusion, I'd like to kind of be able to get refocused on our main objectives, which are our students and our staff, and certainly our community as a whole coming together and being supportive of that is a huge goal of ours as well. But I did think it was important that we kind of gave an update as to where the board stands right now. I am pleased to say that there was also a meeting with Township Committee leadership that went very well. I think we're united in, moving forward into 2024 and participating in projects as they come about that are mutually beneficial. And I think that that's important to know. I do thank the members of the trades who did come this evening. The board is very aware that our students are going to pursue a myriad of opportunities when they leave the high school, be it in the trades, which is an honorable and outstanding pursuit, I think, be it military, be it college, be it directly into employment. And I know that there was a meeting that Mr. Tramberg mentioned with the superintendent, the head of our FNF, and some other gentlemen, and there was also some very productive conversation about supporting our students who are considering going into the trades, and I think that that was also an excellent byproduct of that meeting, and so I was pleased for that too. At this point in time, that is going to conclude my portion of the evening. I'm sure everybody's thrilled, and I am going to turn it over to Dr. Handerham. Thank you, Ms.
Madam
Stites.
President, before you do so,
Yes.
can I just thank you for that update? That's all I wanted to say.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buffa. Thank you, Ms. Stites. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Wall High School Color Guard and our student representatives to the Board of Education, Christopher Daly, Madison Brody, Michael Southwell, and Megan Cappy for joining us this evening. I would just be horribly remiss if I did not acknowledge all of the effort I witnessed today put forth by our operations and maintenance departments as they moved some of the heaviest snow I have ever seen. They worked tirelessly to clear our entrances, sidewalks, and lots. They gave it their all today, and I am so appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would also like to thank our bus drivers. I was out and about all over town this morning, and I got to see the care they used in their driving and positive interactions with students as they completed their runs. Great job. I wish to congratulate all of our student athletes for coming out tonight and for their hard work in representing Wall Intermediate and Wall High School so wonderfully with their positive sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship is paramount, and I have seen these teams firsthand exemplify such. Great job. As you're probably aware, another family night organized by our student wellness team, including Ms. Steiner and Ms. Gilvari, and sponsored by the WTEA, is taking place at the intermediate school this Thursday evening, February 15th at 5:30. The theme is How to Win and How to Lose. This workshop, conducted by Integrated Care Concepts, focuses on supporting your children in coping with adversity, embracing both victory and defeat with dignity and humility. I've personally attended a few presentations by this organization, and I'm confident it will not only be engaging, but insightful. At this event, family-style dinner will be served, and child care and/or transportation is available if needed. Please visit the district's website for more information and to register. I would like to thank Wall Primary School and Principal Mbon for sharing some sunshine on this very wintry evening. I do not think I could ever grow tired of that video. I probably saw it about 6 times before tonight. So many thanks to Ms. Serbowitz. It is a beyond adorable video. I would also like to thank Assistant Superintendent Jennifer McCann for reporting out on our mid-year district goals. As you can see from her presentation, the WTPS faculty, staff, and administrators have been extremely, and I mean extremely busy. When you have the opportunity to review the specific objectives and their supporting activities, you can see firsthand the demonstrated commitment of the WTPS family. Each day, the employees of the school district strive to provide our students with the best educational experience possible. Thank you, WTPS family. I would also like to thank Ms. McCann for her steadfast leadership and for literally burning so much midnight oil. The curricular and instructional district goals and objectives this year were extensive, and I thank her and her team for all of their hard work. The mid-year update will be available on our website tomorrow, should you wish to examine it in detail. Each year, superintendents are required to report out on data pertaining to school violence and vandalism that occurred during a designated time period. The school violence and vandalism reporting categories include alleged TIBs, confirmed TIBs, acts of violence, vandalism, weapons, and incidents involving substance abuse. Please visit the district website to review the specific breakdown of reporting for each of our schools. The data from the time period 1, which is September 1st through December 31st, 2023, speaks to the number of closed matters. Any ongoing matters would not be reported during this reporting period. During reporting period 1, Wall High School had a total of 17 NJDOE closed categorized incidents, 1 confirmed TIB, 10 alleged TIBs, 1 false public alarm, 2 incidents of substance confirmed use and possession, and 1 incident of substance possession, 1 incident of assault, and 1 incident of fighting. Wall Intermediate School had a total of 10 NJDOE closed categorized incidents, 4 confirmed TIBs, 4 alleged TIBs, and 2 incidents of theft, which is greater than $10 is the citing. Central School had a total of 4 NJDOE closed categorized incidents, 1 confirmed TIB, and 3 alleged TIBs. Old Mill School had a total of 2 NJDOE closed categorized incidents, 2 alleged HIBs. West Belmar had a total of 2 NJDOE closed categorized incidents, 1 confirmed HIB and 1 alleged HIB. Allenwood School and Wall Primary School posted no incidents during that time period. If any member of the public has any comments with respect to the data time from period 1, you will have the opportunity to share that information during the sections of our meetings for public comment. There is an agenda item that I would very much like to speak to this evening. At the March 14th, 2023 meeting, this Board of Education approved a resolution declaring its unwavering commitment to supporting special education. This resolution closed with the following statement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wall Township Board of Education is committed to Wall Township Public Schools becoming a model district recognized for demonstrating inclusive practices in serving students with special needs. The Board of Education genuinely values all of its students and employees. They, along with our educators, honor the core value of equity for all of our learners. They also recognize that educational needs are unique and that the unique needs are an absolute priority excuse me, of this district. Pardon. As a result of this priority, you will see that our Director of Special Services, Ms. Kelly Bond, is on the agenda for promotion to Assistant Superintendent of Special Services. Ms. Bond's experience and deep understanding of special education, coupled with her proven leadership, renders her exceptionally well suited to lead our Special Services Department as Assistant Superintendent as we strive to become a model district recognized for demonstrating inclusive practices in serving students with special needs. I look forward to welcoming Ms. Bond to the dais next month. I would also like to provide everyone with some insight regarding my decision-making process with respect to weather. Excuse me. Some calls are easier than others. Today's call was not one of the easy ones. There are many, many factors that weigh in to whether a school is opening during a weather event. Safety of students and staff is paramount. As a district with a high school, the decision has to be made early because of the high school start time. Also, I am always mindful of new drivers in our WTPS family. Local superintendents regularly communicate with one another, yet we recognize that each one of our districts is unique, and the uniqueness, probably the best example of that is transportation arrangements. There are many, many different arrangements for transportation throughout Monmouth County within our schools. I will certainly try to always give as much notice as possible to any school schedule change because I vividly remember how difficult it was for me to make arrangements with my own daughters when we had last-minute school closings or delayed openings. I also prioritize timing, temperature conditions, and consider as many forecast models available to me. These models are monitored constantly up until the point a decision must be made, regardless of whether a weather-related decision is perceived to be a good one or a lousy one. Please know that a great deal of thought and consideration went into it. That said, there is a great deal of water on our surfaces this evening following, as I mentioned earlier, probably the wettest snow that I've ever seen. Tonight's forecast indicates that temperatures will be dipping down into the 20s. As such, I have decided there will be a 90-minute delayed opening for schools tomorrow. Note that notifications for this delayed opening will begin shortly after the close of tonight's business meeting. I thank you for your time, and it's my pleasure to turn the microphone back to Ms. Stites.
Thank you, Dr. Handerhan. For the Board of Education update, I think we'd like to start with Mr. Mala.
Thank you, Ms. Stites. Just a few comments. Excuse me. Just a few comments on the conduct of our regular public meetings. Our policy 0164 states, the order for a combined meeting reflected on the agenda shall include, but is not limited to, the following. And then it goes on to list the items that occur at every meeting. We often add to that agenda, as we did tonight, items that are placed where the board believes most appropriate. Items such as we saw tonight, student showcase, special presentations, or on some occasions required reportings. Placement of these presentations on the agenda considers the nature of the presentation, which often includes recognizing students and staff. At times, we have guest presenters, as we had a few meetings ago, and we believe it is appropriate and courteous to place these early in the agenda. These presentations in no way affect or prevent public comment, which we welcome, and in fact, gives an opportunity for the public to comment on these presentations that were on the agenda, which you will be able to do in a few minutes. In closing, I'll just mention that NJSA 10:7A allows the board to determine the length and portion of the meeting for public comment on issues the public feels may be of concern to residents, and we encourage our residents to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mala. Mr. Buffa, can you give us quick update, please?
Sure, it'll definitely be quick. In Mr. Nasser's absence, I just wanted to give a quick update because I know we've heard the PLA a few times last meeting and this meeting. So I just want, for the rest of the board members that are not on FNF and may not have had a chance to review the minutes from FNF yet, we did receive information on what a PLA is. Right around this time last year, it was discussed during FNF. We did rediscuss it in much more detail and length at our last FNF meeting. And as it currently stands, we're kind of weighing our options and the pros, the cons, and we do feel that moving into the future, that this may be something that we'd be interested in doing, depending, basically job dependent. So more to come on that, and there's definitely some more detail in the FNF minutes if you want to take a look at that.
Thank you, Mr. Buffa. Do we have any other members who have anything to add to the Board of Education report at this time? Seeing none, we're going to move on. For committee reports, each committee did meet last week. Minutes from each of those meetings are published, I should say. Do any of my committee heads have anything to add? Okay, thank you. Seeing none at this time, we are going to move into opening the floor for public comment. This public comment is for agenda action items, meaning items that we're going to be voting on that are listed on the agenda. So we have either the podium, up top, or the podium down here.
Betsy Cross, I live in Wall Township. I did notice that collective bargaining agreement, there's still nothing attached, so I'm not sure what you're approving and why you have to approve it again, because I think you had approved it months ago. So I think it should be tabled until we actually see what you're doing and what you're changing. Like I said at the last meeting, you gave Tracy Handerhan a $22,000 raise for God knows, for no reason. I hope people are doing exit interviews when people leave, because the business office is like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. I'm glad you're writing that down, Ms. Cornell. Who is doing exit interviews? If you could answer either tonight or send it back to me in writing on why the taxpayers are paying $10,000 to the JIF for my lawsuit for Mr. Smythe withholding public information on the trailers. And, you know, I'm not sure why you're talking to the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. Maybe the disc they had nothing on it, because basically everybody else that's looked at it can't believe that the prosecutor's office wrote that letter saying that there was no wrongdoing. Spoliation of evidence. They destroyed the trailers during an open criminal investigation. How could that not even be a problem from the prosecutor's office? They were destroyed June 29th and June 30th when they never should have been destroyed. It just doesn't even make any sense. So I've asked to have meetings, like so how municipal did meet. Mr. Maloff, I'd love to meet with you.
I'm sorry, which agenda item are you referring to, Ms. Cross?
Your attorney bills. So your attorney bills, we keep paying lots and lots of attorney bills to you for very bad legal advice. So I want to know why the taxpayers are paying the $10,000. We do know now that Mr. Smythe maybe just asked for a favor to get a temporary CO on the trailers.
Which action items are you referring to, Ms. Cross? Because this is not on the agenda, nor does it have anything to do with my attorney bills.
Your attorney bills. So if you could let us know, we've been asking simple questions.
Abide by
Where
the
did the trailers
procedure,
come from?
which is agenda items
Did anybody
only
really inspect
at
them?
this time. Thank you.
The $10,000, let me know where that is coming from. Update on the buses, where are you moving them? Too many redactions in executive minutes. Where's the Jenny DiCarlo settlement? You should be approving it. F&F minutes, myself and Kathleen Duran asked about who Precision was. It wasn't the two union workers. So if Mr.
Again, they're
Nasser
action items.
would put his
Ms.
head up,
Cross,
but he's not even
this
here
is
tonight.
action items
If he
on the
put his head
agenda,
up during
so
a
if you
meeting,
could
maybe he could get the minutes
identify which
right.
action item you're referring to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment at this time?
Hey, it's me again. My name's Brian. I'm from Messenlaner from Wall Township. So I heard you guys talking about, I'm new to the whole trailer fiasco thing, by the way. So I just heard about this stuff, and I was shown some documents and some information.
Sorry,
and I
sir,
was
this
blown
is
away.
for action items
Yep,
on the
this-
agenda?
These two people right here were
So
just
if you could
talked
please-
about like 20, they talked for 20 minutes about how the prosecutor said no one should be talking about the
No.
trailers anymore.
Yes,
So I have
it's
one
not an
simple
action
question.
item on the agenda, sir.
Okay. I asked, I'm on
So
to technology.
this is
I
not an
asked- I
appropriate
asked the AI,
time for public comment.
$200,000.
If you could identify which item on the agenda you're referring to for action tonight, that's
Where-
what this second public
I'm trying to
comment
find out. I'm
is
trying to figure out.
reserved
Okay,
for.
I'm asking you. I'm trying to figure out where $200,000 paid for these trailers for the transportation instead of these trailers.
I'd ask
where,
you,
the simple question
which
is, where do the trailers
action
come
item
from?
are you referring to on the agenda, sir?
I didn't see
This
the
is-
agenda. I just heard you guys talking about the whole trailer
Well, this,
fiasco.
this public comment is specifically reserved to items that
Okay.
are on the agenda for action
So how do we
tonight.
how do we get an,
So-
how do we get how do I get an item on the agenda for the next meeting specifically about these questions that I have?
So again, so this public comment is reserved for action items only.
Okay.
There's an initial public comment earlier in the meeting that is for anything with regard to the operations of the school.
Right.
So
So how do I
those
get
are-
an
those
agenda
are-
item on the meeting for
It's
the
not
next
an
meeting?
agenda item, sir. So it's the first public comment for any items related to the operation of the school. The second public comment is with respect to agenda items.
Okay.
So meaning, if you have,
Yeah.
please hush, thank you, ma'am. If you have an issue that's.
Yeah, I want my time back too.
If you have an issue that's regarding, that's
I-
not
okay,
on
yes,
the
I do.
agenda.
I do have one.
It
But I
it
get
is appropriate in the first public comment session where you came.
I have something. I want my 2 minutes
So-
back, by the way. So
On the-
in
on the
in
agenda,
the
sir.
presentation for the agenda, there was a big section about the health and wellness of the kids, right?
No, this is not what this is about. It's for action items on the agenda.
I
So
took- I
the
took a picture of
items
it.
that the board is going to approve after this public comment session, that's what this is
I'm
reserved
commenting
for.
on the presentation that was just given.
The
Am I not allowed to do
again,
that?
action items, sir. So the beginning of the public comment?
No, the one that you just showed, the goals, goal 2, was about the health. The last thing on it was about the health of the children, right?
On the district goal presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I allowed to talk about that?
Well, it's a presentation that
Okay.
was on
Can I have
tonight,
my-
sir,
can
but
I-
it's not on the agenda for action item.
I'm talking about the
Please
health of
stop
these kids.
shouting out, Ms.
I'm talking
Cross.
about the health of these kids,
Stop.
right?
No, sir.
So not only was these trailers that
No,
cost
sir.
$200,000
This is
to
not about
transport.
trailers or anything else.
Some kid got sick from
It's
mold in
not-
the trailers.
No, sir, it's not.
So that
the-
didn't happen.
It's not on the agenda for tonight.
That's
It's
about
not
health and wellness
subject
for
to
the kids, right?
action.
Some kid got sick,
No,
right? Did
sir,
that happen?
that's not what the
So that didn't happen.
presentation was about,
No kids got
sir.
sick from being in the trailers.
Not
That's
what the
you're- that's what you're
presentation was
saying.
about, sir.
That's what you're saying. It's about health and wellness for the kids, right? So I want to know, did any kids get sick
With
from being in
regard
the
to the
trailers, mold in
presentation
the trailers?
tonight.
It's just a general question. Did any kids get sick from the mold in the trailers? Yes or no?
Sir, as I mentioned to you earlier, this is public comment. This
I
is an
understand.
opportunity for you to express yourself. At this
Okay.
time,
Well,
this
maybe
is about,
somebody up
excuse
there
me,
could answer a simple
I'm-
question.
we don't
Where did
answer
these trailers
questions
come
back and
from
forth
that
in
it
the
cost
middle of public
$200,000 to
comment.
deliver
Sir,
them?
I'm trying to explain to you that this is an opportunity.
If you ask
Public comment-
ChatGPT,
okay.
if you ask
Thank you, sir.
ChatGPT,
Your
it says
time
it's
is up.
abnormal
Is up,
that it
sir.
would cost
Thank
way
you.
that much.
I'm trying to explain to you what this is, and you're not listening to me.
I understand what you're
I'm
saying, but you
sorry,
keep cutting me
don't.
off and not letting me talk.
Thank you. Your time is up.
It's not because you guys occupy most of it. Where did trailers come from?
Do I have anyone else for public comment? Thank you, Mrs. Cross. You can stop calling out. All right. This is not a question and answer session, and I understand that this is, sir, we don't have a question and answer session in the middle of public comment.
Okay, so when can we talk about this?
Sir, you can email the district, certainly.
What's your email?
Sir, I'm not going back and forth with you anymore. This is not how public comment is conducted. Thank you. Do we have anyone else for public comment at this time? Seeing none, we're going to be closing the floor for public comment. At this time, may I please have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Second.
Ms. Di Giovanni and Mr. Buffa? Mr. Smythe, please.
Sorry. Mr. Adenizio?
Yes, but I abstained from 15C and 16, Roman numeral 3, number 1.
Noted. Ms. Barbier?
Yes.
Mr. Buffa?
Yes.
Ms. Di Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Maliff?
Yes, but I will be abstaining on item 15, letter C, 16A, Roman numeral 3, number 1, and 16A, Roman numeral 6, number 33.
Noted. Ms. Shimko?
Yes, but abstain from 15C.
Noted. Mr. Wondrak?
Yes.
Ms. Stites?
Yes. Thank you. Well, that's going to be concluding our meeting this evening. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Wondrak, may I have a second? Mr. Adenizio, thank you. Hope everybody's careful driving. I think the temperatures are okay right now, but they're going to drop a little bit later, so thanks for coming out.